You want to know how to build an aura so raw, so potent, that men hesitate before crossing you, that women are drawn to you like a moth to a fatal flame, that crowds bend beneath your sheer presence without a single word spoken, a silent tsunami of authority? You crave the aura of inevitability, the kind of power that doesn't scream for attention but makes others whisper your name with a mix of respect and deep-seated fear. Understand this. True dominance isn't born from noise, bravado, or desperate performative displays. It is forged in absolute silence, in ruthless restraint, in meticulously calculated force. Machiavelli taught us a truth many fear to acknowledge. Power isn't about being loved, nor is it about being feared. It's about being necessary. When your aura makes others believe, deep in their bones, that they simply cannot afford to oppose you, you have already won before the game even begins. This is the ultimate strategic advantage, often overlooked by those trapped in the illusion of soft skills and universal approval. In this manifesto, I will rip back the curtain and show you how to craft that aura. The aura that bends people's will toward your own. We will walk through 10 stages of transformation, each one a razor-sharp blade honing your psychological edge. By the end, you won't just understand how to appear powerful. You will understand how to become truly untouchable, a force of nature in a world of mere mortals. Stay with me until the very end. For those who leave early will remain weak. Comment below with the phrase, "Power flows to me." Let's begin the ascent. Number 1. The foundation of aura, the myth of the open mind. Power begins where unshakable certainty lives. The first step to building an aura that bends others to your will is an iron conviction in your own mind. If you hesitate, the world devours you. If you doubt, your aura fractures, and the vultures will circle. Machiavelli knew that men follow strength, even if that strength is cold and cruel, especially in an era that promotes indecision as open-mindedness. This is the big lie, that constant questioning makes you wiser. In the arena of power, it makes you vulnerable. You must cultivate a presence that radiates inevitability. The sense that your path is carved in granite, and nothing, no challenge, no adversary, can move you from it. This is not arrogance. It is a deliberate, strategic construction. Every look you cast, every word you speak, every silence you command must carry an undeniable weight. You must learn to withhold reactions, to starve others of any emotional control over you. This discipline, this internal fortification, forges the very foundation of your aura. Weak men chatter to prove themselves, desperately seeking validation. Powerful men conserve their words like a king spending gold, rarely, and with crushing, undeniable impact. Begin training yourself to see every interaction not as a social exchange, but as a chessboard. People reveal their weaknesses by over-explaining, by nervously filling every silence. You, however, will stand still, watching, listening, calculating. The less you reveal, the more they project their own fears and insecurities onto you. The more they fear what you might be capable of. That fear is not malice. It is the seed of absolute control. The modern world rewards oversharing. You will find your power in strategic scarcity. If you want to start embodying this today, comment below. My silence commands respect. Number 2. The mask of controlled power, unmasking the weak. Your aura is not what you truly are. It is what you strategically allow the world to see. Machiavelli taught that men judge more by appearances than by reality, and this ancient truth is your most potent weapon. Understand this. Raw emotion, uncontrolled impulses, outbursts of rage, or floods of excitement. These are not human. They are weaknesses that crack your carefully constructed mask. The facade of controlled power isn't about hiding. It's about projecting invincibility. Your face must be a fortress, impenetrable. Your voice, a calculated instrument, never wavering, never betraying. Your eyes, the windows of dominance, holding steady, assessing. When people cannot read you, they cannot predict you. When they cannot predict you, they cannot control you. This is the essence of controlled power. The art of mastering yourself so thoroughly that others feel a profound, unsettling smallness in your presence. It's the geopolitical chess move, where a nation's calm exterior belies immense, unseen capabilities. Cultivate an expression of quiet authority, a stillness that unnerves the frantic, desperate energy of lesser men. Move slowly, with deliberate intention, as if the world itself bends to your measured pace. Every gesture, every pause, every breath must signal that you do not answer to the chaos around you. Remember, true power is not displayed by constantly needing to prove it. It is displayed by never needing to prove it. When you enter a room, you should not chase attention. It should fall on you as naturally as shadows fall beneath the sun. This is the mask you must forge, and when you master it, you will find people obey not because you demand it, but because they cannot resist the psychological gravity of your aura. If you understand this, comment below, "My mask is my weapon." Number 3, the calculated use of fear, the price of complacency. Power without the strategic undercurrent of fear is fragile. Respect alone, a mere sentiment, cannot hold men in line when true stakes emerge. Machiavelli wrote that it is safer to be feared than loved, a brutal truth many modern men recoil from. But if you desire to bend wills, to truly command, you must embrace it. This isn't about reckless brutality or crude violence. It's about the sophisticated control of perception. It means crafting an edge so precise, so sharp, that others instinctively avoid cutting themselves against it. The man who inspires fear does not need to shout, threaten, or beg. His mere presence carries consequences. Fear is born when people realize that crossing you leads to undeniable loss, public humiliation, or total exclusion from your orbit. This does not require physical violence. It requires the ability to surgically take away something others deeply value, be it approval, opportunity, social standing, or even the illusion of your attention. Never reveal the full extent of your capacity for retribution. Keep them guessing. A mysterious man with an invisible hand is far more terrifying than a loud tyrant who showcases every weapon. But balance is everything. You must temper fear with utility. Those who fear you too much will secretly plot your downfall. Those who see no benefit in standing within your shadow will abandon you at the first sign of weakness. The secret is to bind fear to necessity. Be the man others rely on, the gatekeeper of their ambitions, while simultaneously dreading the thought of losing your favor. That duality creates unbreakable loyalty, an economic dependence on your presence. Understand this. Men who are loved are ultimately replaceable. Men who are feared and necessary are unforgettable. Fear is a language. You must become fluent. Wield it not wildly, but surgically, in silence, in moments where it cuts deepest. Your aura must whisper, "Defy me," and you will regret it more than any other choice you've made. Let them laugh at others. They will not laugh at you. If you are ready to embody this truth, comment below. My presence breeds respect and fear. Number 4, the art of emotional detachment. escaping the empathy trap. To bend others to your will, you must first bend yourself into something beyond ordinary human emotion. Attachment, desperation, overinvestment. These are not noble sentiments. They are chains that bind men and make them predictable, exploitable. Machiavelli's wisdom echoes, "Never place your fortune in the hands of another." This isn't about being lifeless, it's about being untouchable. It's the strategic coldness of a nation's foreign policy, prioritizing national interest above all sentiment. When you are immune to flattery, to rejection, to betrayal, or even to effusive praise, you become the one unmovable element in the chaos of human nature that cannot be manipulated. Think about the common man. He crumbles at rejection, explodes at insults, begs for validation. And in that weakness, his power evaporates. But you, when you stand silent under insult, when you remain calm in betrayal, when you do not chase what leaves, you radiate a power that terrifies and captivates. People expect emotional reactions. When you give them none, they collapse into a void of uncertainty. That uncertainty fuels your aura. Detachment also grants you the chilling ability to calculate with surgical precision. Emotions fog the mind, obscuring truth and opportunity. Detachment clears it completely. It allows you to see the game for what it truly is, a grand strategy, and move pieces without hesitation or remorse. The man who loves without control is conquered by his own heart. The man who hates without strategy is consumed by his own rage. But the detached man? He uses both love and hate as weapons, never as prisons. This is why stoicism is not weakness. It is the furnace where psychological steel is made. You must master the ability to watch everything burn around you and still remain steady, watching, calculating, adapting. That is the essence of Machiavellian resilience, the mark of true leadership in times of crisis. When you detach, you gain ultimate choice. You can choose when to act, when to strike, when to retreat, and when to appear devastatingly generous. Nothing owns you, and thus, no one controls you. This is the escape from the modern empathy trap that demands you feel every emotion, sacrificing strategic advantage for fleeting comfort. Comment below if you are ready to rise above human weakness. I am untouchable. Number 5. Mastery of silence and words. The architect of perception. Words are weapons, but silence is the lethal sheath that gives them their deadly, unforgettable edge. Most men squander both, rambling without precision, filling the air with incessant noise that betrays their profound weakness. But the man who masters silence commands the battlefield of minds before he ever utters a single syllable. Machiavelli knew that true rulers should rarely reveal their intentions, and silence is the impenetrable shield that guards your deepest strategy. It's the state's secret, held so close it drives enemies mad with speculation. When you hold your tongue, you deny others the ability to read you, to predict your next move, or to undermine your authority. Silence makes people profoundly uneasy. It compels them to reveal their own insecurities, their weaknesses, their hidden motives, while you remain the unmoving, all-seeing observer. In silence, you collect invaluable intelligence. In silence, you allow others to expose themselves completely. And when you finally choose to speak, every single word lands like a thunderclap, every phrase etched into the minds of your listeners, as if it carries divine, unquestionable authority. But mastery of words is just as crucial as mastery of silence. Words are not for explaining. They are for influencing, for shaping reality. They must be precise, razor-sharp, and deliberate. Never speak to be merely understood. Speak to shape perception, to engineer belief. Learn the art of commanding language. Use short, powerful statements that leave no room for doubt. Speak in terms of power, necessity, and cold inevitability. Never justify, never over-explain. Justification signals weakness, and weakness, in the Machiavellian world, breeds only contempt. Instead, make declarations, issue directives, or deliver subtle provocations that twist the mind of the listener into your desired frame. And when silence follows your words, let it hang heavy. Let it burn into their memory. The combination of strategic silence and precise speech is like a master swordsman and his blade. Without one, the other loses all force. If you want to build an aura so potent that your presence lingers hauntingly long after you leave the room, master this devastating balance. Speak less, but make every syllable cut. Listen more, but reveal absolutely nothing. The aura you project will become one of profound mystery, undeniable dominance, and crushing gravitas. The aura of a man who cannot, under any circumstances, be ignored. Understand this: a careless tongue ruins kings. A disciplined tongue builds empires. Silence earns respect. Words win loyalty. And both, wielded together, forge an unbreakable fear. This is how legends are built, not through endless noise, but through total control of sound itself. This is the dark secret of propaganda, of corporate messaging, of political rhetoric. If you are ready to command with silence and conquer with words, comment below. My silence speaks louder than kings. Number 6. The weaponization of presence. The unseen hand. Your aura is not merely an idea, a concept. It is a palpable force that must be felt the instant you enter a room. Presence is invisible power made tangible, a psychological weight that precedes you. And it is built through the deliberate, conscious control of your energy, your body, and the space around you. Understand this: most men stumble into rooms seeking approval, desperately hoping to be noticed. But the Machiavellian mind never hopes. It commands. It dictates. Presence begins with posture. The way you hold yourself signals to others whether you lead or follow. Stand as though the very ground itself belongs to you. Shoulders squared, back straight, head level. Movements measured, economical. No wasted gestures, no nervous fidgeting. The weak man twitches. The strong man flows with a predatory calm. Next comes pace. Move slower than the rest. Haste is the child of anxiety, the tell of a mind not fully in control. The man of presence sets the rhythm, and others unconsciously, unwillingly, adjust themselves to it. Then there is eye contact, perhaps the most primal tool of dominance. Do not dart your gaze, do not chase. Hold steady, observe calmly, and let others break first. The one who looks away concedes the invisible battle for psychological ground. And beyond the physical, there is aura projection, the meticulous control of your voice, your breathing, even the silence you wield. When you speak, your tone must be low, firm, and deliberate, as though each word is carved into stone, an unalterable decree. When you pause, let the silence stretch. Because in those moments, the weight of your presence crushes the nervous, frantic energy of everyone around you. Presence is also built through strategic scarcity. Do not make yourself overly available. The man who is everywhere becomes invisible, taken for granted. The man who appears rarely but powerfully becomes unforgettable, a myth in human form. People should feel the room subtly shift when you arrive and feel an undeniable emptiness when you leave. That is how legends are remembered, through stark, powerful contrast. You must also cultivate an inner conviction, so profound that it bleeds outward, contaminating every space you occupy. Presence without this unshakable belief is mere theater, and theater collapses under pressure. Believe you are the unshakable axis of the room, and the room will bend to your gravity, just as planets orbit a star. Presence is not something you do. It is something you are. When mastered, you won't need to demand respect. It will be given, offered, before you even open your mouth. If you are ready to forge this kind of aura, comment below. My presence is undeniable. Number 7. The science of psychological leverage, the invisible shackles. If you truly wish to bend people to your will, you must master leverage. These are the subtle, invisible chains that bind their decisions, without them ever realizing they are shackled. Power is not brute force. It is the art of pulling unseen strings, of engineering consent. Machiavelli taught us that men are driven by two primal forces, the profound fear of loss and the desperate hope of gain. To control someone, you must learn precisely which lever moves them most efficiently, most reliably. Every single person carries hidden desires, unspoken insecurities, and deep-seated fears. Your aura becomes magnetically irresistible when it signals that you understand these hidden layers better than they do themselves. This requires relentless, surgical observation. Listen more than you speak. Watch body language that tells they betray. Track patterns in behavior. Note every reaction, every word choice, every fleeting glance. Weak men ignore details. Powerful men collect them like priceless weapons. Once you know what someone truly values, you own them. If they crave validation, make your approval agonizingly scarce. If they fear exclusion, remind them subtly, implicitly, how fragile their place in your orbit truly is. If they hunger for opportunity, position yourself as the indispensable gatekeeper. The terrifying beauty of leverage is that it allows you to control without force, to dominate without any visible effort. This is where dark psychology merges seamlessly with Machiavellian realism. You do not simply respond to people. You engineer their responses. You plant ideas. You subtly guide their emotions and let them believe they arrived at their choices freely, when in reality, you have written the entire script. True power is invisible orchestration, a symphony of influence. But leverage also demands absolute discipline. Never overplay your hand. If people sense overt manipulation, they will resist, they will resent. The most effective control is the one they never even notice. Give them just enough freedom to feel independent, but subtly direct every single choice toward your desired outcome. The greatest kings and conquerors mastered this art, not by ruling with constant, overt force, but by weaving invisible nets of influence that no one could escape. Ask yourself, what do the people around you fear most? What do they desire most, beyond all else? Then craft your presence so that you become both the irresistible answer to their deepest desires and the chilling shadow of their greatest fears. That duality makes you utterly indispensable. And indispensability in the realm of power is the ultimate, unbreakable weapon. Remember, men can betray leaders they do not need, but they cannot betray those they utterly depend on for their survival, their growth, or their pride. If you can make yourself the silent architect of someone's destiny, their rise or their fall, you own them. This is not kindness. It is pure, unadulterated strategy. To wield leverage is to play chess on the intricate board of human psychology, where every move is subtle but decisively impactful. When you master it, you will no longer chase influence. Influence will chase you. If you understand this, comment below. I control the unseen strings. Number 8. The discipline of ruthless boundaries. The fortress of self. Power is not only built on what you do, it is ruthlessly carved out of what you absolutely refuse to tolerate. Boundaries are the invisible, impregnable walls of your empire, and without them, your aura will collapse under the insidious weight of disrespect and exploitation. Weak men accept too much, forgive too quickly, and compromise too often. And in doing so, they teach the world precisely how to walk over them, how to devalue them. The Machiavellian mind does not permit such erosion. Ruthless boundaries are not about petty cruelty. They are about absolute clarity. They declare without a single spoken word that your time, your energy, and your presence are not cheap commodities to be squandered. They are priceless luxuries. When people sense they can cross you without consequence, they strip your aura bare, leaving you exposed. But when they realize every action has weight, every violation has a tangible cost, and every insult has a swift, cold consequence, your value multiplies exponentially. Boundaries are the immutable foundation of respect, and respect is the vital seed of fear. Do not confuse genuine kindness with inherent weakness. Kindness should be a strategic choice you grant, a reward, not a default state you bleed away. To enforce boundaries, you must master ultimate detachment. If someone wastes your time, you cut them off surgically. If someone disrespects you, you withdraw your presence entirely, leaving a void. If someone tries to exploit you, you make them regret the attempt so profoundly that the lesson resonates for years. And you must never hesitate. Hesitation signals weakness, and weakness invites escalation, an open invitation to further trespass. Enforce your lines quickly, coldly, and without apology or explanation. Your aura will become a fortress, impenetrable, admired, and truly feared. Yet paradoxically, boundaries also sharpen your influence. When you deny easy access, you dramatically raise demand. Scarcity breeds immense value. Think of kings and rulers. They are not available to everyone, and that very inaccessibility fuels their mystique, their magnetic pull. This is the economic principle of supply and demand applied to your personal power. If you want an aura that bends wills, you must learn the devastating power of the word no. Say it without anger, without guilt, without a single justification. No is the purest, most undeniable assertion of power, because it forces others to adjust themselves to you. But boundaries are not only external, they are profoundly internal. You must set ruthless boundaries with your own indulgences, your own laziness, your own destructive emotions. If you cannot discipline yourself, the world will see through the facade and exploit your deepest cracks. Self-control is the highest boundary, and without it, all others crumble into dust. A man who controls his appetites, his time, and his reactions radiates an authority that commands respect, while a man enslaved by impulses invites only ridicule and manipulation. Your aura must project this ruthless discipline, untouchable by others, uncorrupted by yourself. And when you embody this uncompromising standard, people will either fall in line or they will fall away, and both outcomes serve your power. If you are ready to wield boundaries as weapons, comment below. My lines are unbreakable. Number 9. The shadow of strategic cruelty, the unspoken price. There comes a moment when pure presence, unyielding silence, surgical leverage, and iron boundaries are simply not enough. To truly bend people to your will, To secure absolute dominion, you must embrace a truth most men will never admit, even to themselves. Cruelty, when used with precision, is not a vice. It is a profound tool of power. Machiavelli himself declared that cruelty, if well applied, can secure authority faster than misplaced mercy. The weak recoil from this truth, clinging to idealistic notions. But the powerful understand that cruelty is not reckless brutality. It is controlled fire. It is the chilling willingness to do what others cannot, to cross lines that paralyze the ordinary, to strike in ways that leave indelible, haunting impressions. Strategic cruelty means you do not punish constantly or arbitrarily. But when you do, the punishment is unforgettable, a psychological scar. It means you do not seek conflict, but when conflict is forced upon you, you end it decisively, publicly, and in a way that unequivocally deters all future opposition. People must learn one singular lesson. To cross you is to suffer consequences so severe they utterly outweigh any ephemeral reward of betrayal. This does not require physical violence in the modern age. It requires imagination, a cold creativity. Silence someone's reputation systematically. Strip them of opportunity. Sever their access. Withdraw support at the most critical, devastating moment, watching their world crumble. Cruelty in power is not personal. It is purely tactical, a surgical strike. When executed with cold, calculating precision, cruelty establishes a terrifying precedent. It tells the world your aura is edged with tempered steel, not soft velvet. Yet, cruelty must be measured with the utmost care. Use it too often, and you become a tyrant who inspires only rebellion. Use it too softly, and it loses its lethal edge. The art is in impeccable timing and scale, sharp enough to scar, rare enough to haunt. Think of a predator, the ultimate strategist. Does the lion attack every animal in sight? No. It selects, it stalks, and it kills with terrifying precision, sending fear rippling through the entire herd, creating a psychological deference. So must you. Strategic cruelty also extends inward, to yourself. You must be cruel to your weaknesses, merciless with your excuses, utterly ruthless with your own mediocrity. Destroy laziness before it destroys you. Shatter your comfort zones before they rot you from the inside out. When you apply this unwavering cruelty to yourself, you sharpen into a blade the world cannot dull, a weapon of unstoppable will. And when others witness this ruthless self-discipline, they realize deep down that they cannot possibly match your resilience, your drive. That recognition, that terrifying disparity, inevitably bends them to your gravity. But do not confuse cruelty with chaos. Chaos weakens empires. Controlled cruelty builds them, secures them. The aura you desire, the aura that bends people's will, cannot be built on kindness alone, nor on fear alone, but on the profound mastery of both. Mercy makes you admired. Cruelty makes you remembered profoundly. The balance makes you truly untouchable. So when the time comes to unleash cruelty, do it with precision, with clear intention, and without a flicker of hesitation. Let the scars you leave on your adversaries echo as chilling warnings to anyone watching from the shadows, contemplating opposition. That is the true Machiavellian way. Power secured not by constant war, but by decisive demonstrations that make further resistance utterly unthinkable. If you understand this, and you are ready to carry the terrifying weight of such responsibility, comment below. My power is edged in steel. Number 10. The crown of untouchability, the inevitable rise. Everything we have built, painstakingly, deliberately, the unshakable silence, the impenetrable mask, the calculated fear, the chilling detachment, the weaponized presence, the invisible leverage, the ruthless boundaries, and the shadow of strategic cruelty. All of it leads to one ultimate destination: untouchability. Untouchability is not a title you bestow upon yourself. It is a status others feel when they stand in your presence, an inherent truth. It is the aura of absolute inevitability, the terrifying sense that no scheme, no insult, no betrayal, no act of defiance can possibly pierce you, can possibly break your will. To be untouchable is to operate above the petty games of ordinary men, to bend their will while never appearing to exert obvious effort, a true geopolitical chess master. This crown is not given. It is forged in absolute discipline and worn in profound silence. The untouchable man does not seek validation. He generates it, like a sun. He does not chase opportunities. He creates them, for others to scramble for. He does not beg for loyalty. He demands it, implicitly, through the sheer weight of his aura. Machiavelli wrote that fortune favors the bold. But boldness without strategy, without this meticulous foundation, is not courage. It is suicide. True boldness is controlled risk, executed with surgical precision, supported by layers upon layers of unflinching preparation. The untouchable man never moves recklessly. Every step is calculated. Every silence is a trap. Every smile, a mask. Every gesture, a carefully calibrated signal. And because he is utterly consistent in this strategic mastery, others come to believe with a horrifying certainty that he simply cannot be broken. That belief, that unwavering conviction, is his ultimate shield, more powerful than any army. Understand this: power is never permanent. History shows us, brutally, that every king, every empire, every titan eventually falls. But while you stand, your aura can make you seem eternal, an unmovable force. People will bend to you, not because they must, but because they cannot imagine a world without your shadow over them, without your influence dictating the tides. That is the highest form of dominance, not loud, not chaotic, but utterly, terrifyingly inevitable. To become untouchable, you must fuse all these principles together, seamlessly, into a single, terrifying being. Your silence must command attention. Your mask must conceal your deepest strategy. Your fear must be sharp but exquisitely measured. Your detachment must keep you ice cold when all others burn. Your presence must alter the very air itself. Your leverage must turn men into unwitting pawns in your grand design. Your boundaries must be walls they dare not even contemplate climbing. Your cruelty must be precise, haunting, unforgettable in its impact. And in the end, when you weave all of this together, your aura will be so overpoweringly potent that people will surrender. Not because you force them, but because resisting you feels utterly impossible, a futile act against destiny itself. This is the crown of untouchability. It cannot be bought. It cannot be faked. It cannot be stolen. It can only be built, forged through ruthless, unwavering discipline, Machiavellian cunning, and a relentless, unbending will. You now know the path. The only question left is whether you will walk it, or remain trapped in the weakness of the common man. If you are ready to step into this power, comment below one last time: I am untouchable. And remember, if this monologue sharpened your mind, if it fed your hunger for true strategic power, then do not hesitate. Like this video, subscribe to the Machiavellian mind, and turn on notifications so that every time I release a weapon for your arsenal, you will be the first to wield it. The path to power has no room for delay.